Hey everybody, it's me, Gregory, the Dragon King, and welcome to the Dragon's Den. I am really pissed off at what I'm seeing that's going on out here. Um, I'm not transgender. I'm a gay male, a black, well-educated gay male, but I'm upset as fuck. I feel empathy, I feel sympathy, I feel sorrow for the transgender community. But I also feel support, I feel embracing them, I feel uplifting the transgender community, and I feel like enough of us gay people are not doing it. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I've always been kind of a vocal person in the military, high school, just in my life in general, my professional career. I've always been a very vocal type of person. But the thing is, I'm not seeing enough of the gay community in the LGBTQIA plus community support, motivate, and try to uplift the trans community in a way where we're fighting for them to support them. Fighting for them as in making sure that there's no negative energy if we're around, because that might as well be us at the end of the day, and it is us at the end of the day, of being ridiculed, of being talked about, of being hurt, and worst case scenario, having our lives be taken from us, which I hope stops happening to the whole community, period. Having said that, watching the news, I see more and more transgender and gay people, gay and transgender people dying out here. And it seems to be that within the black community, transgendered women are dying at an enormous rate. Why is that? I don't know. You don't know. Or maybe we do know. And it's simple because they know that a white transgender person, even as transgender, has white privilege. That's what it comes down to. It comes down to privilege. A black transgender person, woman especially, has no privilege. Has, in most people's eyes, has no value. Has no worth. We know that is wrong. We know that is not true. We know that that is the furthest thing from should be anybody's reality. But yet and still we have people who are out here disrespecting transgender people and trying to hurt them and ending their lives. It's just, when is it going to stop? And with it being transgender women of color, what is that all about? I just explained it, but I want somebody to tell me in the comments, what is that all about? Because I'm sick of seeing it. As a gay black man, I don't necessarily know what to do other than do videos like this and try to support transgender people in their protests and just in their narrative to set change, right? And I think that within the black community, it's almost like nobody cares. Much like how it is in the black culture as a whole, nobody cares if one of us, is no longer here. And I think it's increasingly a problem when other black people are killing black transgender women. It's, we often hear, right? I got 4 stories that I'm going to cover, but I'm going to say this, though. We often hear that from a lot, and I've heard this from a lot of black biological women that say, oh, he should have told that man that he used to be a man. She should have told him he used to be a man. Under what context? Is that the first time they meet or after they have sex? Because I'm going to tell you something. For all you, and you men say the same thing. that, she should have told him that he was a man and that's why such and such happened. No. I'm going to tell you something. There are two things that are going on here. One, they feel guilty of having desires for a black trans woman. You shouldn't feel guilty. You're a human being. You have desires. You have your preference. You have your desires. You know what you want, right? So, and the second thing is, a lot of them find out that others have found out about their preference, about the fact that they like black transgender women, who a lot cannot be clocked. Some can, but a lot of them cannot. But at the end of the day, it has nothing to do with the conversation that, quote unquote, did not take place. That the transgender woman did not tell the biological man, black man, that she used to be a man. Most of these, if not 90% of these biological black men, they know exactly who this transgender woman is in regards to their previous life, in regards to their previous gender. Okay? They know already. They know. The problem, when it becomes a problem and an actual fatal outcome for the transgender woman, is that now he's not sure about he's sure about he loves her, but it's something within him and his upbringing that makes him feel so guilty about loving this transgender woman. See? So that opens the door to other things, other intrusive, very negative, very evil thoughts about doing something to kill those thoughts and those desires, which are natural. You fell in love with a transgender woman, a black transgender woman. This idea now, somebody has found out about you, and that your love for this transgender woman, all the while you have a reputation to maintain. So then you, instead of just saying, you know what, this is who I love, world, this is who I love and want to spend my life with, world, or these are my preferences and this is what I want, this is the passion that I desire, world, I don't give a what y'all are saying. But no, you're not going to do that. You're going to fall victim to societal pressures, friendship, family bullying, and just your own inconceivable understanding of what you're doing is not anything wrong. You can't conceive that what you're doing is not wrong. That's who you love. That's what you desire. So you extinguish those ideas. You extinguish that love. You extinguish those feelings in the worst, most evil, and darkest ways. So you biological black men, because you're the ones killing these black trans women, particularly here in Milwaukee. Milwaukee is getting out of control with this, and we're going to get to that in the second story. But nationwide, it's getting ridiculous. You rarely hear, and no one should be victim of it, of a white transgender woman fatally dying. You don't hear of it. But I've explained why already. And for me, it's a problem because we're all in the same boat. If I were to ever decide at 51 years old that I too want to transition to a woman, I am going to have to worry about somebody trying to end my life I'm fine with who I am. But if that is something that was in me and I wanted to just be happy and live my life, I too would have to worry about every move I make. But see, we live in a society where enough of us are not allowed to be our fucking selves, to love who we want to love, to have the desires that we want to have, meaningful desires, none that hurts anybody, but just desires that will enrich our own heart, desires that will support us and somebody who is of the same age as we are, no matter what the background, will want to be with us. But you have family who is constantly ridiculing, they're bullying. You have society which is always has a microscope on you, and don't become a public figure or a celebrity. That microscope gets even more intense, 100-fold. But unfortunately, people fall prey to that. So you can't be who you are. You can't love who you want to love. So to avoid your social status, be it celebrity or not, you consume the hate for yourself. Thereby you consume the hate for that transgender person, woman, a black woman. Because society says no, your family says no, your friends say no, but your heart is saying yes. I love this person, but your mind is mirroring society, your friends, the world you actually live in, and says no. So you opt for no. But you, instead of saying, I have to let go of this, I love you, but I'm not sure, you destroy, you take, you extinguish somebody's life because you don't love yourself enough to fight for what you want in your life, to fight for who you want to be with, and that's that transgender woman, or those desires in the moment to be with that transgender woman, black woman. So all this talk about, oh, the transgender woman should have told the biological black man that she used to be a black man. No, it ain't even that. That's less than 1%. That's less than 1%. Because the majority of these biological black men, they know exactly who they're talking to, who they're getting ready to go to bed with. And it's a shame that this is happening. It's an absolute shame. So let's get into our first story. Okay? Now we know some time ago there's a man, a creature named Governor DeSantis down there in Florida. I think Tallahassee is the capital, might be Tampa Bay, I'm not sure, right? There's a bill that was passed called Don't Say Gay. Can't say it in schools, can't say it in public places, things like that. Don't say gay. Can't use those words. You're hurting the children. You're manipulating their minds. You're distorting their life and their ability to pick and choose. Okay? So this story is from LGBTQ Nation. And it was done today, October the 20th, 2023. Let's get into it, okay? It says, author of Don't Say Gay law stole $150,000 in COVID funds. And then it says he's going to jail. You damn right he's fucking going to jail. And I hope, no, I ain't going to say that because YouTube will get me. Let's just say he gets in the shower, and I hope the guy behind him, while doing his service for him, is saying, "Don't say gay." If you get my drift, okay. So the story says he said opponents of the anti-LGBTQ law want to sexualize your 6-year-olds. He was stealing government funds at the same time. So while he's telling people about anti-gay, don't say gay, the gays are the boogeyman, we the creature from the Black Lagoon. Meanwhile, you're stealing money from people who are suffering from COVID, who need those funds to live, to exist, pay their rent. Those same families who you are telling that gays are coming to get their children, you're robbing them at the same time. Ironic, isn't it? Former Florida State Representative and current felon. His name is Joe Harding. Ah, yes. Wonderful. This story is by Daniel Villarreal at LGBTQNation.com. Let's go on to the next story. Former Florida Republican state lawmaker Joe Harding, author of Florida's Don't Say Gay law, will serve 4 months in prison. He should have got more than that. Because had he been black or another minority, they'd get him 5 times as much time. And 2 years of supervised release for fraudulently obtaining $150,000 in COVID funds. He has previously said that opponents of Don't Say Gay want to sexualize your 6-year-old. We already read that part. The 36-year-old criminal resigned from the Florida House of Representatives in December after a federal grand jury indicted him on felony wire fraud, money laundering charges, and making false statements. I'm sure there's some other shit that they probably had sealed. He pleaded, probably racketeering, who knows what. He pleaded guilty to the charges in March and faced up to 35 years in prison. Why are we just not hearing about this? I don't blame LGBTQNation.com because they always up on the up when all this shit is going on against the gay community. But why do they wait so long? You know why they waited so long? They waited so long because they know this will be some mess. It will be some absolute mess. I'm not surprised that all this shit is coming from Florida. Harding defrauded the Small Business Administration during the height of the COVID-19 epidemic by filling out an economic injury disaster loan. I think a PPE loan, pretty much. Application to request money for 2 dormant businesses. He then transferred some of the funds to his bank account, his personal bank account, to a third-party business and to pay his credit card debt. Wow. I can only imagine who he was paying. You know what I'm saying? What he was doing in his leisure time. That ain't none of my business, but we need to make it ours. You know what I'm saying? If he doing all this, stole money from the public. Mr. Harding egregiously betrayed the public trust by stealing from COVID relief funds meant to help the very people who elected him. Exactly, like I said, the same people who he stole that lie to about gays, corrupting the children. These are the same people he stole from. Hello. Said Brian J. Payne, a special agent of the IRS Office of Criminal Investigation in Tampa, Florida. Greed and public service should never meet, okay? But they do all the time. It's politics, unfortunately. But when they do, we stand ready to ensure bad actors are held responsible for their actions, as he should be. He should have got 5 years, just to teach him a lesson, okay? In the June Post, Harding said that he paid back the loan in full. No, he didn't. Adding, now all I can do moving forward is continue to tell the truth. Apologize to all of those I've hurt and let down, and then show the world that with God all things are possible. There it is. There it is. There it is. Every time these people get in trouble, it's God. Every time these rappers and these performers and these so-called right-wing, left-wing, every time anti-gay, homophobe, it's always God, but you're doing everything ungodlike. Everything ungodlike. Meanwhile, the homosexuals, everybody in the LGBTQIA plus community, We trying to do what we can, be righteous all day long. We ain't hiding how we live, who we living with, but we the problem. Okay? Nah. Harding authored the Parental Rights and Education Act, a law that initially banned any instruction on sexual orientation and gender identities in grades K through 3. The law was later expanded to all grade levels, and similar laws have been passed in 6 other states, according to the Movement Advancement Project. Harding insisted that his law wasn't motivated by anti-LGBTQ plus animus. Liar. I believe in the idea that creating boundaries at an early age of what is appropriate in our schools, when we are fronting out schools, it's not hate, he said. Okay? It's actually providing boundaries, and it's fair to our teachers and our other school districts to know what we expect. Now, y'all are trying to create a platform. So you're trying to, speaking of indoctrination, you all are trying to indoctrinate your children early on to develop this hate, develop this sense of less than when you look at gay folks than your children and yourself at an early age. So when they get to the age of adulthood, they all have a preconceived notion. They've already planned how to deal with gay folks, and it's the most disgusting thing. So you, sir, and Governor DeSantis and anybody like you have already, you're indoctrinating your kids at an early age to hate gay people and LGBT people and everybody in it, okay? In a March 2022 Twitter post, Harding wrote that opponents of Don't Say Gay want to take away parents, sexualize your 6-year-old, and lie to you. Now, you've been doing all the lying. You know, ain't nobody sexualizing their kids, okay? Y'all doing all that down there in Florida. Right-wingers have echoed Harding's claims about the LGBTQ plus people, allies, and educators sexualizing children and taking away parents' rights by indoctrinating. There ain't nobody indoctrinating y'all kids. I don't have children. Don't necessarily care for no children, okay? I will say hello to them. Ew, you know, how you doing? Boom, move on. You know, nobody is sexualizing children. Nope, the gay community, we are not doing that, you know. Meanwhile, you got your so-called straight, Christian, right-wing, conservative Republicans in that house alone, divorce, abortion, cheating on with somebody with a mistress. You know what I'm saying? You're having all these different things going on. Pornography, addiction, drug addiction. All this is in those Republican homes. But all of a sudden, when you get outside, everybody else is the problem. No. Inclusive books and school policies during the Southern Poverty group that has taken over local school boards to ban LGBT. Why ban the books? You banning books now. What are you going to preach in those schools? What are you going to preach in those schools? What are you going to say in that literature? It's ridiculous. My summation of this, like, this man should have got 6 years. He should have been in jail for a long time. He should have had time. He should have paid back triple the restitution of this $150,000. He should have paid back more than that. It should have been $450,000, as far as I'm concerned, because it don't make no sense. He should have paid more than that. It don't make no sense. But it just karma. It goes to show you that karma is real. Okay, the second story. This story is about Milwaukee, Wisconsin is known for cheese, beer. Unfortunately, Jeffrey Dahmer. Shout out, blessings to all the victim families, you know, but they're not known Harley bikes. But lately they become synonymous with transgender deaths. And that's something that, although we are in the middle America, you don't expect to see. We haven't seen it until a few years ago. So clearly, this notion of hurting and killing transgender people has made its way to this state, unfortunately. So let's get into the story, right? Charges filed in death of Chyna Long, Milwaukee's 4th black transgender woman killed since 2022, right? For a city like Milwaukee, that's a big deal. Those numbers are astronomical. Four transgender deaths in Milwaukee in a year's time, in my opinion, is equal to 10 unfortunate deaths somewhere else within less time. Because it's almost unheard of, right? Okay. So, Long grew up in Milwaukee and attended Washington High School, but was living in Chicago the last 8 years, according to her father, Jonathan Long. He said she was visiting Milwaukee to comfort him over the death of his brother. Curran, the gentleman who shot the transgender woman, was convicted in 2013 of fleeing law enforcement, a felony which barred him from possessing guns. The criminal complaint, which accuses him of shooting Long on the 7300 block of North 89th Street the morning of October 8th, doesn't detail any possible motive. So, but like I said, I've already explained in the motive. A lot of these men, black men, are killing these black transgender women because it is something that they feel like, one, I don't want to be caught loving, adoring, supporting this transgender person, and two, they believe that it's affected their manhood if they get spoken to, looked at a certain kind of way. But I'm more inclined to believe that, and I don't know what the situation is. Nobody knows his motive. I think it'll come out, when he's, maybe it'll come out. But I think, like I said in the last story that I did just previously, a lot of men kill these transgender women, particularly black women, because they know that, to explain it in certain terms that we all can understand. Black men believe, a lot of minority men believe, that their manhood is all that they have left, right? So if anybody, particularly another man, who's in their eyes, these are not my words, these are what I've heard and seen, that a transgender person is pretending to be somebody else. They're not pretending to be somebody. They are who they are, first of all, right? So for me, they believe that's an offensive to their manhood by having a transgender woman, because that's what black men believe they are. That's all they got left. So anybody approaches them in that visual is trying to disrupt or erase their manhood. That's what a lot of black men, particularly in impoverished areas and areas with low income, have summarized their worth to. That's not true. You know what I'm saying? We're not just about our manhood is not all we have left. We've got our intelligence. We got our thirst for success, our thirst, our drive to be somebody, to make changes in our community. But for a lot of people in impoverished areas, particularly black men and other minorities, their manhood is they believe that's all they got left. Why? You'd have to know their life. Unfortunately, when trans women are dying, black trans women are dying, the hands of black trans men, that more than likely it's I don't want nobody to find out. And unfortunately, people have to die from it, unfortunately. And it's the worst thing possible. Instead of just, you know what I'm saying? It's like I said in the last story, it's instead of just accepting that you have these desires and you have these loves and you want to embrace this, you can't. You don't want to, because you're too busy keeping up an image, society, family, friends, instead of going against the grain and say, I'm going to love who I want to love. I'm going to be with who I want to be with, period. It's just a lot of black men, a lot of minorities in impoverished areas believe that that's all they have left. Is their manhood, and unfortunately, people are dying because you haven't realized how to be more than that, for whatever reason. An attorney for Curran couldn't immediately be reached Monday. According to the complaint, surveillance video recovered by the police shows Curran leaving his home at 7:34 a.m. wearing a black baseball hat and surgical mask. Shortly before 7:47 a.m., a witness reported seeing a man matching Curran's description on North 89th Street standing outside a tan Chevrolet Impala and talking to someone in the car. The location is less than 3 miles from Curran's home. At 7:47 a.m., a series of gunshots were heard, the complaint said. The Impala was recorded on video speeding away from the scene. When police arrived, they found Long lying in the street with gunshot wounds. Curran was later identified to police and told officers he had been at work that day from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Of course, he was lying, clearly. Police obtained records from his employer, which is less than 2 miles from the homicide scene, showing Curran clocked into work at 7:52 a.m. Okay, so 8, 9, 50. So that was like a 5, maybe 6 minute gap. Okay, surveillance footage showed him arriving at the job site in the same Chevrolet 3 minutes before checking in. Curran was arrested October the 10th. At least 20 transgender or gender non-conforming people killed in homicides nationally this year. According to the Human Rights Campaign, Long is at least the 20th transgender or gender non-conforming person to die by homicide in the U.S. in 2023. That comes after the organization tracked 38 homicides in 2022 and a record 57 homicides in 2021. The majority of those victims are black and Latina transgender women. Okay. Large percentages of transgender people report experiencing a lack of acceptance within their own families. I just said that. Denied opportunities in education, employment, healthcare, and housing, and unequal treatment in the justice system. Before Long's death, members of the LGBTQ community in Milwaukee called on law enforcement to establish better relationships with the community and prosecute hate crimes perpetrated against them. The problem with that is, if people in the judicial department here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, if they too have an unconscious bias or a conscious bias against transgender people and people in the LGBTQIA+, what good is it going to do those victims who wants to get justice? Because it's not going to help. It's not going to help. It's not going. It's not going to help us. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to help us if the people in the judicial system are ultra conservative, are ultra right-wing, ultra-religious, ultra-Republican in their behaviors and views, political, definitely, when it comes to this stuff, and their Christian values, uber Christian values, in the judicial system. You know, we often say, a church and state should be separated. Well, not in places where, there have this moral conviction about the Bible and this, that, and the third. It's going to be an uphill battle. It's going to be an uphill battle, unfortunately. 3 other black transgender women who have been killed in Milwaukee since June 2022 were also initially misgendered by law enforcement, the county medical examiner office, or the news media. So the news media has played a part in this too, right? I'm not surprised. While they're trying to investigate and understand why these transgender community is dying here in Milwaukee, they're also contributing to it, right? They don't, most of them only show up when there's a crime, a fatal exiting of somebody's life. Get in those communities, you know what I'm saying? Talk to those transgender people prior to the situation. And the reason why they're not doing it, because they don't have a cause. But there is a cause, there is an effect. When there is an effect to that cause when a transgender person has passed away here in Milwaukee or any other place in the media, all of a sudden we've got to go there, we've got to film the visual, the crime. What are you doing prior to? What is your relationship with that community prior to? Not just the police officers should have a positive relationship with the LGBTQI plus community, particularly the transgender community right now with all the shit going on. The media needs to have a proactive relationship, okay? They need to reach out. You know, they have the power. A transgender community really don't have the power. You know, but the media does though. So I blame the media for a lot of it too. You know what I'm saying? They play the role in this shit. But may Chyna Long rest in peace here in Milwaukee. Okay, let's see, we're on our third story, I think. Is it our fifth? This is our third story. Another transgender person. A transgender woman, this story is from People by Nicole Acosta. This other story I just did about Chyna Long was from WISN 12 here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This one is by People magazine. Transgender woman dead after being assaulted, then struck by vehicle, say police, by Nicole Acosta. No arrests have been made in the October 14 death of 30-year-old Annie Roberson. Police in Washington, D.C. are investigating the death of transgender woman who they say was killed last weekend. On October 14th, Annie Roberson, 30, was assaulted near Nelly's Sports Bar, a popular gay bar in the Northwest D.C. before being struck by a car, police said, per Fox 5 D.C., WSA 9, and NBC Washington. She died at a local hospital. Okay. A medical examiner determined she died of blunt force. Okay. Injuries and her death was ruled a homicide according to WSA 9. The driver of the car that hit Roberson remained at the scene and cooperated with police, per the outlets. Authorities said they are not connected to Roberson's assault. So he hit Roberson, or she hit Roberson, but was not connected to the initial blunt force trauma or assault that they faced. Police confirmed to Fox 5 DC and NBC Washington that Roberson was a transgender woman. It's unclear if her death is being investigated as a hate crime. Okay. Now police are searching for the person who assaulted her. No arrests have been made as of October 20th. The Metropolitan Police Department is offering a $25,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the person responsible. First of all, they ain't gonna find the person, right? And if they do, you're gonna hear things like, they were trying to talk to me, they would make me feel uncomfortable, they were trying to mess with me, I wasn't comfortable with what they were doing. Meanwhile, we don't know if that's true or not because the other person is not here. You know, this individual, let me see what the name is again. Annie Roberson is not here. So because they're going to feed into society where they say, oh, she should have told him he used to be a man. You know, that's what they're going to say. And there are so many outlets. There's so many outlets. There's one particular, I don't even want to mention it. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want to mention it. But there is one particular YouTube channel. They have had transgender discussions that, for me, were one-sided. They have a I guess there's nothing wrong with it, having an ally that will greenlight every fucking thing you say. Especially if you're being homophobic or anti-LGBTQIA+. You know, in their mind, they have an ally who supports them so they can do no wrong or say no wrong when it comes to the LGBTQIA+ community. And they're calling it the alphabet community, the alphabet soup community, as a slur. At this point, it's a slur as far as I'm concerned, right? So, you know, this particular YouTube channel, they focus on having a particular transgender person always present to help them navigate the waters to safety so they can be seen as non-combative, or better yet, look, we have a transgender person that we like. This is our friend, so we're not like that. It's like saying when a white person says, "Oh, I've got a black friend," okay, or it's saying something like just little stuff like that. Like how many gay people you know? Now I know somebody at work. You know, it's that type of mentality. So, you know, if this was to be reported on that channel, they would spin it where they wasn't told. The dude said he wasn't this. He wasn't told, and he felt uncomfortable, and he was being approached, yada yada yada. So that feeds into this anti-trans LGBTQIA plus. Now I feel better. This is what it really was, and we feel better. And look, we got a transgender person on our side, so clearly we can't be wrong. Okay, so that y'all know, y'all will go over there on that channel. Y'all go on that channel and figure it out. Y'all will go on that channel. You know, there's very few of them. There's probably only one that is not anti-LGBTQIA plus. Probably only one. The rest of them, you know, they're faking the funk, and it's not real, nor is it genuine. You know, I could give you some hints. I want to so bad, but I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna just mosey on because if I do, it'll be seen as me trying to get clicks and likes, and no, I'm not gonna do that. But you know who they are. Just search. You know who they are. Mm-hmm. You know who they are. Yeah. Okay. The last and final story, right? Everybody knows, a lot of people love, some people have fought for Britney Spears, right? Britney has been through a lot, you know, governorship, guardianship, stewardship, whatever. You know, her fans fought for Britney Spears. Fans fought for her to get released. They fought for her to get her independence. People to get off the payroll that shouldn't have been on the payroll. While we can't believe a lot of what she was going through was strategic plan by her family and other folks, there are things and behaviors that we also can say, okay, maybe this is what they were trying to do because of this, but they unsuccessfully was able to do it. So it made it seem like they were trying to hurt her versus trying to help her. I still believe that her mother, the baby, the father of her children, and a few other people really didn't have her benefit at heart in the beginning. But then they started to realize possibly the destructive things that they were doing. But by then, her fans had got wind of it, and they wanted blood for how Britney Spears had been treated. But lately, she's been having some unusual behavior. She's been performing a knife ritual of sorts. You know, I think it's a butcher knife with a bread knife, and she's, you know, maybe she's practicing for the next Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon movie, Part 3. I don't know. But, you know, or she's just playing into the nonsense that people think they know about her, of her being off the rails. Maybe that's only going to increase her clicks and likes, and, you know, if she decides to go on tour, you know, she's already, you know, got her fan base back and maybe some new people, I don't know. But in recent events, Britney Spears has created a memoir or a book that she says is going to be telling all her business, and she's going to control all what is said. Well, in one of those things, she talks about, somewhere in the book, she talks, according to Entertainment Tonight, ET Online, stories by Anthony Dominic. She talks about how Justin Timberlake played an effective role in her life, and we know they had an affair, relationship, or whatever. When I say affair, I mean relationship. It didn't last long, but apparently he was the love of her life, or that's what she thought, because according to her, she had an abortion. Now let's get into it. Britney Spears recalls sobbing amid excruciating pain off at home abortion after Timberlake pregnancy, according to Entertainment Online, ET Online. Britney Spears revealed that she and Justin Timberlake's abortion decision was shrouded in secrecy and involved in extreme measures. Inside her upcoming memoir, The Woman in Me, the 41-year-old pop star writes about the time she allegedly got an abortion after becoming pregnant with Timberlake's baby in an excerpt obtained by the Associated Press. Spears claims she and Timberlake agreed to keep the abortion a secret. It was important that no one find out about the pregnancy or the abortion, which meant doing everything at home, she writes, adding that they didn't tell her family. She describes the physical pain of the medication abortion as excruciating. I kept crying and sobbing until it was all over, she writes. It took hours, and I don't remember how it ended, but I do 20 years later remember the pain of it and the fear. Okay. According to TMZ, Spears lay sobbing on the bathroom floor as Justin tried comforting her with music, strumming his guitar. And they, oh my God, wow, is that what you? In an excerpt obtained by People, Spears claimed that the Cry Me a River singer did not want to become a father. Yeah, because he's young and stupid. And he didn't want to have a kid, but he sure bust that nut, though. It was a surprise, but for me, it wasn't a tragedy. I love Justin so much. I always expect us to have a family together one day. This would just be much earlier than I had anticipated. Spears wrote about the pregnancy via the outlet, but Justin definitely wasn't happy about the pregnancy. He said we weren't ready to have a baby in our lives, that we were way too young. But you wasn't young to bust that nut. E.T. has reached out to Timberlake's rep for comment on the allegations. Spears and Timberlake, 42, dated from 1999 to 2002. Inside of her highly anticipated memoir, the Not a Girl, Not a Yet a Woman singer also writes about the first kiss she shared with Timberlake when they were teens on the Mickey Mouse Club. Oh, okay, cute. How cute. All right. In the excerpt obtained by People, Spears revealed that the kiss happened when they were young teens hanging out for Mickey Mouse Club sleepover. Oh my God. Okay, what else is going on? Once at a sleepover, we played Truth or Dare. Of course you did. And someone dared Justin to kiss me, she writes, according to the outlet. A Janet Jackson song was playing in the background as he leaned in and kissed me. I wonder which one it was. Timberlake went on to marry Jessica Biel. Together they shared sons Silas 8 and Phineas 3. Well, wasn't he trying to cheat on her 3 years ago? Somewhere down in New Orleans in the French Quarter. Who knows? Spears and ex-husband Kevin Federline are parents to sons Sean Preston 18 and James 17. Ooh, Lord. The Toxic singer spoke to People in a new interview about her role as a mother to her two sons who reside in Hawaii with their father. Of course they do. They live on an island tropical place with your money. Starting a family was the fulfillment of my dream, she told the outlet, underscoring the profound joy she found in nurturing her boys. Being a mom was my dream come true. Okay. The audio version of Spears' memoir, The Woman in Me, will be narrated by Michelle Williams. Not Michelle Williams from Destiny Child, but the other one. Simon & Schuster Audio made the announcement earlier this month, which also included a surprising tidbit that the singer will read an introduction to the audiobook. Ooh, Justin. This book has been a labor of love and all the emotion that come with it, Spears said in the news release. Reliving everything has been exciting, heart-wrenching, emotional to say the least. For those reasons, I will only be reading a small part of my audiobook. I am so grateful to the amazing Michelle Readings for reading the rest of it. In the same news release, Williams voiced her solidarity with Spears. I stand with Britney, the actress said. So Britney Spears, right? Yeah, so that's it for Britney. Britney said, I'm going to expose Justin Timberlake and everybody else, and she's just going to get down and dirty with it. She's just going to get down and dirty with it. She don't care about it. Britney going to let you know, I ain't the one. Justin Timberlake, right? First of all, he's really kind of, I don't like personally how he did Janet Jackson. Janet said he apologized, they friends now. I don't know. We ain't friends with him. Janet, you can be friends with him, but we ain't gonna be friends with him. You know, I'm one of the Rhythm Nation warriors, one of the OG Rhythm Nation warriors from back in the day. Okay, we ain't gonna be friends with him because we ain't got to be friends with Justin Timberlake. His shit name be Jason. But yeah, so those were some interesting stories. It's kind of draining doing those type of stories, but I had to give y'all a little break from the LGBTQ stories that were really heart wrenching and really, you know, like I said, for a lot of you gays out here, y'all really need to be more involved in politics, particularly when it comes to the LGBTQIA plus community. The thing that they're doing while everybody's distracted with Jada Pinkett and Will Smith and Britney and Justin and all this other stuff going overseas, they're doing work against us. They are doing work against the LGBT community, and y'all sleeping. Y'all are absolutely sleeping on it. So I'm just warning y'all ahead of time. Wake the fuck up. Wake the fuck up, please. And one more thing I want to say. I'm not promoting violence by any means, but I'm a natural born American citizen. I was born here in St. Louis, Missouri, raised in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where I'm at now. I have the right, and every LGBTQIA plus member in the United States of America, and naturalized afterwards, right? Once you came to this country, you have the right to exercise your Second Amendment rights. I'm gonna let y'all, you can figure out, go look it up. So you have the right to protect yourself, your home, your family. And why shouldn't you? You have a life. You have a light in you, a spirit, a soul. You have to, if, you know, there's many ways you can protect it. I'm just giving you one of those ways because it's dangerous out here. We have to look out for each other, and we have to look out for self. I just want to let you know that. So, I am Gregory. I am your Dragon King. Welcome to the Dragon's Den. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, tell everybody about these videos. Tell your gay friends, your straight friends, you're supporting gay friends, you're supporting straight friends. Tell your alderman, your politician. Tell your mama, your daddy, your grandpa, your grandmama. Tell everybody. Sister, brother, uncle, auntie, all that. Tell them about these videos that I'm making because I'm trying to get the right information out there. I don't mind doing a little fun stuff, salacious reality show, but gay folks, we cannot be sleeping because the things that they are doing behind the scenes against us, and you know, we got to be a part of the change, or we will be a part of the problem. Period. All right, so don't forget to like, subscribe, share. I'm Gregory. I'm the Dragon King, and thank you for coming to the Dragon's Den.